Since childhood, I couldn't take a really deep, long breath or sprint more than a few yards. One term for this is called constricted breathing, and I blame this condition on having multiple episodes of bronchitis as a kid. Then 4 decades later, I heard about emotions causing constricted breathing. I was really skeptical about this, but I was willing to try anything. And when I cleared the emotions that were not allowing my deep breaths, I could not believe how deeply my lung capacity had increased. And now one tool I use to gauge my stress level is judging how deeply I can breathe. When I can inhale to a count of 10, I know I'm practically stress-free. This is Colleen Flanagan, the Emotions Whisperer, and I specialize in finding and releasing the emotions causing your lack of well-being. I also do this for animals. How do we get constricted breathing? Our human response to trauma, fear, and stress is just to take short, shallow little breaths. In the body-mind emotions connections principles, our ability to inhale air symbolizes how safe we feel that we can take in life itself. Constricted breathing is our body's way of telling us that we're afraid about what's happening outside of us, out of our control. And I'd estimate that at least 90% of the world population has emotional trauma blocking their deep breathing. In fact, I've never met anyone whose breathing wasn't shallow to some degree. And thankfully, it's easy to remedy. So please check with your doctor before trying this exercise, especially if you have any conditions that affect your breathing. And let's just first check to see how deeply you can inhale. So please just take as deep of a breath as possible while you count in your mind 1 to 10. And don't force the breath, be gentle, and then note at which number you couldn't take in any more air, like it might be 4 or 5, and exhale and breathe normally. If you're like most people, you might only be able to get to 3 or 4 or 5. And that's important to remember that number in case you want to write it down, because we're going to see the improvement right away in your constricted breathing as we clear out some of the emotions that are actually causing the constricted breathing. So to release those lung constricting emotions, we're going to stimulate the end point of the governing vessel meridian, and that's right under your nose, above your upper lip, in the center area there between the 2 little ridges of skin that we all have. That area is called the philtrum. And I'd like you right now just to tap or massage very gently in that area while breathing normally, and then say to yourself or out loud, I now release all fears and non-beneficial emotions that are tightening my lung capacity and not allowing me to take deep, long, refreshing breaths of air. Take another nice breath in here, in and out. I now release all fears and non-beneficial emotions that are tightening my lung capacity and not allowing me to take a deep, long, refreshing breath of air in and out. And take another deep breath in and out. I now release all fears and non-beneficial emotions that are tightening my lung capacity and not allowing me to take a deep, long, refreshing breath of air from all the times I felt suffocated by people, by life situations, at work, at any time in my life when I was afraid to take a deep breath of air. So you can just relax and breathe normally. Put your hand down. Now take right now a nice deep breath in, as deep as possible while you mentally count from 1 to 10. Don't force the breath, and just note which number you finally couldn't take in any more air. It should have increased from the previous number that you did this little test, your breathing test, earlier in this video. If it isn't larger, don't worry about that. Just exhale and breathe normally. And if you want to really enhance your breathing and your lung capacity, repeat this above breathing test and release the constriction. And anytime you think of any old situations, like even going back to your childhood, like maybe you got yelled at by a teacher or by your parents, and right away you're breathing constricted. And you may be carrying that around like I did for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years and such. Just let go of your fears. Think about what you were afraid of at that very time when you had that memory come to mind. And release those fears. Like I release my fears of being yelled at as a child, or being bullied as a child, or I release my fears when I had to take that difficult exam in college and I flunked it, or I thought I was going to flunk it and I was so afraid, or the time my boyfriend or girlfriend broke up with me and I couldn't breathe afterwards. I was so stressed out and freaked out. Just clear all those old emotions out. And you should notice your breathing becoming a lot more deeper, and you're going to feel so much better because, as you probably know, breathing deeply helps oxygenate and nourish our cells, and it energizes our bodies, and it increases well-being. So in this sometimes stressful world, we've got to do all that we can to maintain our health, joy, self-love, and inner peace, and breathing is a great way not only to energize, but also to relax and calm down. This is Colleen Flanagan. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope the breathing exercise helped you. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact me through my website, emorescue.com. I'd love to hear from you and also to hear how this breathing exercise helped you. Thank you. Namaste.